Hi everybody, my name's Rebecca. I'm mum to Violet, who's 8, Martha, who is 4, and Flora, who is just coming up at 8 months old. All of whom have been to Heartbeeps or still going to Heartbeeps. So this is a really lovely safe space to be able to tell my story, because I'm also mum to a little boy called William, who unfortunately never made it home. And I missed out on all of his firsts, and I'm just here to share a little bit about what happened to myself. So in 2021, me and my husband decided that we would try for our third baby to complete our family. We got pregnant pretty fast. Everything was very straightforward. 12-week scan came and went. Everything looked wonderful. And we kind of just were looking forward to welcoming a little baby in the summer. We got to Christmas, and it was the day before Christmas Eve, and I remember going for a routine appointment with my consultant and feeling the baby move a lot, more than I ever had done. And remember messaging my mum saying, oh, we've got a real little kicker in there, you know, I can't wait to meet him or her. Finished my appointment and went home. Everything seemed to be fine. Christmas came and went, and as you can imagine, with 2 small children running around, it was hectic and wonderful. And we kept talking about, you know, this time next year we will have a little baby here as well. But what I did notice after the kind of hectic part died down, I hadn't really felt the baby move as much. And I kind of convinced myself that everything was still okay. Maybe that was a movement, maybe that was a movement there. And I also thought, well, you know, they don't necessarily have a regular rhythm at this point. It's still very early. So I went for my 20-week scan, and I went alone because my husband had COVID, as did my children. And so I was packed off, shipped off to go and do this scan by myself, which I thought, oh, I can do this, that's not a problem. And we got into the room and we started the scan, and quite quickly I realised that my baby didn't have a heartbeat, and that it had died 2 weeks previous. And all of a sudden my entire world shattered. Everything changed, and it was very much a before and after. And I was rushed into a different room where we had to talk about what we were going to do, because unlike an early pregnancy loss, I was going to have to deliver my baby, and I had to be induced pretty much straight away. So that happened, and I was told to take a tablet, come back on the Saturday, and we would start induction then. We were taken to the hospital into a special ward, where special room, where we had our own shower, teas and coffees available, a machine, a fridge, a sofa and a bed for my husband, and we had to wait for things to start. And amongst all of that, we had to talk about what we were going to do with the baby afterwards. Were we going to have a funeral service? There were things that we had to talk about that we never ever thought we would ever have to talk about for your own child or for your baby. I gave birth at 4:30 in the morning on the 9th of January 2022, and I gave birth to a little boy called William. And we got to spend some time with him. They had a cold cot ready for him, and we saw him and he was dressed, and we got to say hello and goodbye. And the midwives were absolutely wonderful, and they made sure that the baby would stay with us on the ward, maybe not necessarily in the room with us, but on the ward until we actually left the hospital. So he was always near us until we left. And then the feelings, the emotions and the reality kicks in, and the trauma. Because I think as women, when we are going through something like that, we knuckle down and we put our heads down and we go, okay, I just have to get through it. Everything else comes later. And that's kind of what I did. And so giving birth to William wasn't as traumatic as the aftermath of everything that came.